Okay, so hello class. So this is our board. We've been working on factorization. Now let's just take one or two more questions, and I'll first do a recap on what we did last time because I think I didn't really explain myself well enough. Then we'll continue from there. So let's just use this little page here. Now remember, I gave a question where we did 3y raised power 3 is equal to 27y, and I know we finally ended at y squared is equal to 9. Now remember, notice something. When the only values you have are your a, that's your a, and your c, then the way to solve it, like this one now, the values we have our a and our c, right? Because this y squared is where your a value is, and this is where your c value is, right? Remember, our a value is always the value carrying the highest order of your x, and your b value is carrying the least order, that's carrying the x power 1, while your c value is the one carrying no order of x at all, that's x to the power 0 actually. So here we are saying that here is carrying the highest power of y, and here is carrying it's just a constant standing alone. Therefore, this is our a value and this is our c value. Now the way to solve equation like this is by just taking the square root of both sides. Take it over to the equality sign and take the square root of both sides. Is that okay? Now that's nice. But when you have only your a and your b, how do you solve it? Like I did see this example here. For this one, this was the example we did here, and we took it over to this side and we just took the square root of both sides. You can see my marker pointing at it. Why? For this particular type where you have only your a and your b, and we'll give an example where you had your y square and then it came out to be minus 9y equal to 0, only your a and your b, we solved it this way. I believe we're following. So that's the hint, or that's the example on how to solve questions that might appear like this. For this one, you just take the square root of both sides, but for this one, you factorize and then you solve. So let me move over to my other screen and solve more examples. So let's solve more examples. So I'll just take one more question and then we are done. I think I'll call it over for the factorization method in quadratic equation. So let's take some easy questions actually. Let's take some very easy questions to solve. We have solved the equation where they gave us x plus 2 bracket x minus 7 is equal to 0. Now how do you solve a question like this? Now notice something. They've already helped you to factorize everything. You don't need to factorize again. Some people might be tempted to expand this, but please don't expand this. They've helped you to factorize it. So what do you just go? Bring out the values of the roots. So it will be x plus 2 is equal to 0, or x minus 7 is equal to 0. Then you have what? X is equal to what? Minus 2, or x is equal to what? Plus 7. Because when this goes over to be 7, or so you don't need to put this plus sign, so I take it off. It's not necessary. Now, but what if they now try to make the equation a little bit more tricky, or let's say extended, and they ask you that after solving that, please also give them the value of your root. They say if your roots are p and q, find p plus q. What it just means is that after we've gotten the roots of this equation, minus 2 and 7, what do we just do? We just say minus 2 plus 7, and we add them up. And what's the answer? Minus 2 plus 7 will give us what? 5. So there's really nothing hard here. It's just just trying to just make the equation extended. Okay, so that's one way of solving. Which other question again should I give? I'm looking for something again I can use. Let's try and solve this one. We're given this question: 7y square is equal to 3y, and we're asked to solve for y. So definitely you can see that we can even divide through by y already here. So if I divide through by y, should I divide through by y? Okay, if they say find the two values of y, now listen, they can do this. Can be a very tricky question. They can say find the two values of y. If they find the two values of y, then they expect you to solve this quadratically. That's use the quadratic mindset to solve this. But they just say find the value of y. There are two ways I can do this. I can just say divide through by y. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Divide through by y, and I have 7y is equal to 3, right? And so what's my value of y? Y is equal to what? 3 over 7 when you divide through by 7. That's one way of solving. But when they expect to solve this in a quadratic system and solve for two values of y, then and they give you 7y raised power 2 is equal to 3y, then please take this over to this, take it over to the equality sign. That will be what? So we now use our other method I told you, when you have only your A. Remember I told you when you have only your A and your what? Your B. So these are A and B, right? So to be what? 7y squared minus 3y is equal to 0. And so solving this, we have what? You can factorize with your y. Y comes out. Since y is the only common factor I can find between these two. And then here is 7y, because y dividing 7y squared will give you 7y, minus y dividing minus 3y will give us minus 3 alone, and that will be equal to 0. So therefore our y here is equal to 0, or our y is, or we have what? Oh, sorry, or we have, let me just convert so my face won't block the screen. Or we have what? 7y minus 3 is equal to 0. So we can then solve it by saying 7y is equal to 3, and then y is equal to 3 over 7. So you're saying that we've gotten the two values as what? Y equal to 0 and y equal to 3 over 7. So this is the way to do it. So that's it here. So let's take one last question again and call it a day from this question. So let me move my screen over to the last part, and then I'll take one last question to solve this. Let's take one that's a little bit longer than usual. I'm looking for something that I can really fiddle my hand around. There's really no question again. How can this book have no question again? Okay, yeah, so let's take this one. We have this question here. We have to solve this particular question. 6x squared. Let's just try. I don't know. I don't want to take a question that I've not really tested out. So okay, let's just take a normal question then. We are given k squared plus 7k plus 10 is equal to 0. Now solving this question, we find the possible values that when you add them you have 7, and when you multiply it you have AC. What's our AC? Let's say our AC is, here's 1, right? So 1 times our C is 10, so our AC will be 10 plus 10 is a positive value. So we check it out. So what are the values that when we add we get 7, and when we multiply we get 10? Think of it. Think. Is there any value that comes to your mind? We know that when we take 7, now 7 is a prime number, so definitely there will hardly be any. So 7 is a prime number, yes. So if we take 5 times 2, we know that we can get 10, right? And when we say 5 plus 2, what do we have? 7. So it works out well. So we know our values are what? 5 and 2, positive 5 and positive 2. So therefore that's k squared plus 5k plus 2k plus 10 is equal to 0. Remember, we present our b parts with the values we've now gotten. So that will now be what? Now we can now factorize. So k and k are the same here. So we bring out a k dividing k, that's still k dividing k squared is k dividing 5k is what? 5. So what is common here is 2, right? So plus 2 comes out. 2 dividing 2k is just k, and 2 dividing 10 is what? 5. Remember, they must be equal. Here must be alike with here. So what's the next part? It will become, you bring out one of the brackets, so that's k plus 5, and then we have brackets k plus 2 is equal to 0. So what's the next part? You now represent each one. So that's k plus 5 is equal to 0, or k plus 2 is equal to 0. So our k is equal to minus 5, or our k is equal to what? Minus 2. And that's the end. So thank you. So next one will be coming in, we'll be trying, I think we'll enter into what they call either completing the square method